Let's talk about the one question that seems to be on everyone's mind right now, the one causing a whole lot of anxiety. Is the housing market finally crashing? We're going to cut through all the noise, all the headlines, and look directly at what the data is actually telling us. Peace be upon you, and may God's mercy and blessings be upon you. Welcome to Cognition. If you want to follow along for more deep dives just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're really glad you're here. All right, so let's get right into it. The big question. Is the housing market really crashing? I mean, you see the headlines, right? One day it's doom and gloom, the next it's just a minor correction. So what's the real story? Well, to figure that out, we have to follow the evidence. So let's put on our detective hats. We're going to conduct a little investigation. Part 1 is all about the signs of a downturn. What are the clues telling us that things might be headed in the wrong direction? Exhibit A, and honestly, this might be the biggest piece of evidence right here, 7%. Think about that. For what felt like forever, we were all seeing mortgage rates at 3%, sometimes even lower. So jumping all the way up to 7%? Wow, that completely changes the entire game for home buyers. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. A higher rate isn't just an abstract number. It hits you right in the wallet. I mean, look at this chart. We're talking about the exact same house, but the monthly payment has exploded by $1,000, maybe even more. That's not just a little bump. That is a huge hit to affordability. It literally takes millions of potential buyers completely out of the running. So what's the next logical step when houses become that much more expensive? Well, this right here. People just stop buying. You can see it clear as day. Home sales have taken a serious nosedive compared to last year. It's a direct consequence of those higher rates we just talked about. And the ripple effect just keeps going. I mean, remember just a couple years back, a house would go on the market and poof, it was gone in 2 weeks. Bidding wars everywhere. Now, a home is sitting there for what, a month and a half? It's a crystal clear sign that the feeding frenzy is over. The power is definitely starting to shift away from the sellers. Okay, so things are looking a bit grim, right? Higher rates, fewer sales, houses sitting on the market. It sounds like an open and shut case for a crash. But, and this is a big but, that's only one side of the coin. Now let's flip it over and investigate the case for resilience. What's holding this market up? And this slide, this right here, is the central puzzle of the entire housing market today. It's a total paradox. On one hand, yes, sales have tanked because of affordability, but on the other hand, the number of homes actually for sale is still near rock bottom lows. And you just can't have a massive price crash when there are way more people who want to buy than there are houses available. This tension is everything. So what are these pillars of stability holding things up? Well, there are 3 big ones. First, as we just said, inventory is still incredibly low. Second, the job market is actually pretty solid, which means most homeowners aren't in danger of missing their mortgage payments. And third, and this one is absolutely crucial, the lending standards today are way tighter than they used to be. This quote from a market analyst really nails it. You hear housing downturn and you immediately think of 2008, right? But it's a totally different world. The 2008 crash was built on a house of cards, a bunch of terrible, risky loans. Today's market? The foundation is just so much stronger. It's a night and day difference. All right, so we've laid out the arguments from both sides. We've seen the evidence pointing to a downturn, but we've also seen the powerful forces keeping the market afloat. So, what's the verdict? Let's put all the pieces together and see what the data truly reveals. Now, before we can deliver a verdict, we have to be on the same page about what we're even talking about. What is a housing crash anyway? It's not just prices slowing down. A real crash is a fast, deep, and widespread price drop. We're talking 20% or more, and it's almost always coupled with a huge wave of foreclosures. That's our yardstick. So with that definition in mind, let's put today's market head-to-head with the big one, the 2008 crash. Look at the difference. Lending standards, loose then, strict now. Foreclosure rates, through the roof then, super low now. And the price change, a nosedive back then versus just a slowdown today. You can see they're not even in the same ballpark. So here's the bottom line. The problem today isn't bad loans, it's bad affordability. Prices aren't plummeting, their growth is just decelerating. And that core issue, the supply and demand imbalance, is still there, acting like a safety net under the market. Okay, that's the big picture analysis. But the real question is, what does any of this mean for you? Whether you're a buyer, a seller, or a homeowner just watching from the sidelines, let's break down the practical takeaway. So if you're a buyer, there's good news and bad news. The good news, the crazy competition is gone. You can actually breathe and negotiate. The bad news, of course, is that borrowing money is expensive. Now, if you're a seller, you've got to be realistic. The days of just throwing a wild number out there and getting it are over. And for everyone who already owns a home, your equity is likely very strong because prices aren't falling off a cliff. So, when you put it all together, what do we have? The conclusion from the data is pretty clear. This isn't a crash, it's a correction. It's the market hitting the brakes, cooling off after being red hot for way too long. And honestly, it's probably a necessary, even healthy rebalancing. Now, that's what the national data says. But we all know real estate is super local. So I'm curious, what are you seeing in your own backyard? Are prices in your neighborhood actually dropping, or are they just leveling off? Drop your observations in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Thanks so much for watching.